Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel Lila Web Dev. So today we will learn about the Unix shell process and all the things. In our previous video, we have seen about the spawn and also the exec function, how it will be working, and some commands it is not working, right? So let's try to see more how the shell works and how they spawn the process and why some commands work in one context but not in the others. So these are all the things let's try to see in this video. So let's kick things off with the basics. So normally what is a shell? So a shell is a program that acts as an interface between you and your operating system. So this is the basic definition of the shell. It's a program. So when you open a terminal, so whenever you open a terminal here, so that is nothing but you are launching a shell. So here if you try to check my activity monitor, okay, let me try to keep this activity monitor also side by side so that we can have a clear understanding. Why? Because so we will be always dealing with the activity monitor and also the terminal only in this video. So here this is our activity monitor, right? If you try to check all those things, so now here whenever G shell, so if you try to check it here, sorry, G shell, so a shell program has been started. So if I try to close this terminal, what will happen? Let's see. So the shell has been stopped. So if I open the terminal again, sorry, if I open the terminal again, oh, okay, this one is going off. So now again in this activity monitor, you will be able to see another shell program has been started. So that means whenever you are opening a terminal, automatically the shell will be started. The shell process or the application will be started. So that is the thing. So whenever I open a terminal means you are launching a shell. That's it. Think of it as a command line environment where you type the commands. Without a shell, your terminal won't function. For example, when I open a new tab in my terminal, I am starting a new shell. So here, if I try to open a new terminal, here you are starting a new shell. Again, a new shell has been started. So right now I am in the G shell, ZSH, which stands for the G shell. So you can see my prompt here. So it will be telling you about my username and all those things. So an arrow, like this tilt and all those things percentage, you are able to see it. So now let's try to type ls and we'll see here. So now the shell interprets this command and talks to the operating system for me. That is the main thing. So now you have pretty understanding about the terminal and the shell program. So now let's try to see in the next section, that is switching the shells. So now let's switch the shells to see how they differ. So now here I am in the G shell, okay. So now but I can run bash inside this one to start a bash shell. So here I can run the bash here. So automatically right now I am in the bash. So now here if you try to check the bash, okay, here the bash shell has been started. So here you'll be able to see the bash shell has been started. So that means, so here it's changed to, so here if you try to see, change it to dollar. Previously it was percentage, it changed it to dollar so that you can able to understand it clearly. So each time when I run a shell command like bash or G shell, I am starting a new shell process. If I type exit, so let's try to type exit, automatically the bash program will exit. Okay, so that is one thing. So now if I try to run the G shell here, if I try to, I will try to check the G shell here. So now G shell is there, and now here we are again into the G shell. So if I try to type exit again, so it will, the terminal will go back and the terminal will be completed. So when that means here you cannot do anything. So terminal is done, saving sessions, copying shade, so everything process completed. So now the terminal also has been closed. So each time when you are typing exit, you are going back to the original shell. So every exit command closes one layer of the shell. And if I exit the last shell, the terminal tab closes. So that's it. So for example, let's say that here, let's try to start a new terminal. Here I start a new terminal, I'm closing this one. So this is our new terminal, G shell has been started. So let's go, I went to the bash. Again from the bash, I went to the G shell. Again I am here. And again I can go to the bash. So here again I am the G shell. So here again I go to the G shell. So here I have moved into a layer of G shells. Now when I type exit, again I can go to the bash. Okay. Again, if I type exit, again I will go to the G shell. If I type exit, again I will go to the bash. If I type exit, again I am going to the G shell. So now if I try to exit, the terminal itself will be closed. So like this, the layer, it will be getting exited. So this is one thing, switching the shells and observing that one I want to express. That is the concept which I want to tell you. So fine. So let's try to understand about the shells and the process. So what is this process and the shells? We'll try to understand. Shells are nothing but a C applications. Just like the Node.js, both can spawn new processes. So that means both can create a sub process. For example, if I run node, I am starting a new Node.js process. For example, let's say that here I went to a new terminal. The new J shell has been started. So if I try to run node here, so now the G shell has been started by the node. Okay. So in the activity monitor, if I search for the node here, so you will be able to see the node has been started. Okay. If I double click on this one, so you'll be able to see that the parent process for this one is G shell. G shell has started this one. If I double click on this one, G shell has been started by the login. If I click on this one, so here it has been started by the terminal. If I click on this one, terminal has been launched. So this one is the Mac internal process. And if I click on this one, so then you will be able to see the kernel task. So kernel is the basic thing. Okay. So now here, so kernel is the basic thing. So here, if you try to understand this better, so the process hierarchy, if you try to see in the activity monitor, so by G shell. Okay. So if I try to go into here one by one. Okay. So here, if I try to go to the G shell, and if I click on this one, so G shell is the thing, so which is coming from the login parent process. Okay. So now here, if I go here, this is the terminal which has started, and from the terminal launch D and like this. So you will be able to see all these things. So here launch D has a process ID of 1, I think so. Yeah, process ID of 1, and kernel ID will have a process ID of, so kernel will have a, let's try to go again. So here login 245 is the process ID and 656, and here launch D will have a process ID of 1, and kernel will have a process ID of 0. So the kernel is the core of the operating system responsible for starting all the process. So the flow is something like kernel will start the launch D will start the terminal, and terminal will start the shell. So that is how the process is going on. Terminal will start the G shell. Okay. So this is how you are able to see this one. So fine. So now you understood about these all the things. So let's go to the thing. So now here, just imagine that. So for exiting the Node.js, what you need to do is you need to do .exit. That's it. So you will be exited from the Node.js. So here you need to understand that. So now don't think that shell is something like a command line or something like that. So shell is a programming language. So you can write a programming language or something like that. Let's say that here I have mentioned it as an x is equal to 10. Okay. So now here I have mentioned it as an x is equal to 10. So now here, if I try to check, it means echo $x. If I try to echo $x, if I try to do it, let's do x is equal to 10. X is equal to 10. And if I try to do echo $x, and if you will be able to see that it is a 10. So let's say that we have a x is equal to 10, and I will do y is equal to 10. Now if I want to multiply these both the things, means echo dollar of, so here I can do x plus y. Oh, sorry. Here x plus y means, so here I need to do the double quote. So now you'll be able to see it's a 20. Okay. So this is how you will be able to see. So that means we can able to write the if conditions, we can able to write the functions and all those things you can able to do. So this is something like in Node also we can able to do the same thing. So if I try to do, .exit, if I try to clear it up. So if I go to the node, so I can do x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 10, and x plus y, if I try to do it, so we are able to get the 20. So the same thing which we can able to achieve it in the shell also. So what we'll try to do it is, so here we are on the code, and here we are on the Node.js, and here we are on the Unix, and now here let's ls. So we are having some files, right? So let's try to create one file that is nothing but touch scripts.sh file. So normally if you want to write the shell coding, so you need to end it with an extension sh. Okay, let's try to create this file, and let's open this one in the Visual Studio. So here this is the thing, and here if you try to see, this is the scripts.sh file. Okay, so this is the scripts.sh file. So now let's try to write some code. So here what I will be trying to do is I will try to write the ls. So just I am writing the ls, And here let's try to check that one. So in order to execute that one, execute the script code, so what you need to do is you need to mention the shell, in which shell you want to execute it, and here you can write the scripts.sh. That's it. So here you'll be able to see the ls code has been executed. So let's try to write some complex code. So I am removing this entire thing, okay, and I will try to do x is equal to 120 and y is equal to 500. So let's say whatever the code it may be. So I am telling to sleep of 4 seconds, and again I am writing echo dollar of x plus y, and at the last what I will be trying to do is again I will tell to sleep by 5 seconds, and here I will be trying to do echo done. That is the code which I will be trying to do it. Now what I would be trying to do it is, so here I will try to execute the same thing. So here you will be able to see the script has been started 620, and it is trying to wait for 5 seconds, and it will print it. And here you will be able to see a new G. So if I try to run this one, so here normally this G shell is nothing but the terminal has been started. So when I try to click on this one, so another G shell is started and it is trying to execute the code. So here it has executed 620. So when this program execution is completed, automatically it will end it. So the G shell has been ended. So here this is how we will be trying to do it. So now let's try to connect with this to the Node.js, and Node.js will use this spawn and exec function to run this process. So now how can we do this one? So now let's go to our playground.js file. So let's go to here, okay, and in our playground.js file, so this is our spawn, right? So I want to run that code, that is nothing but scripts.exec code. So here what I can do it is, so I can tell about which is available in the bin/zsh, and I want to execute the code, that is nothing but /scripts.sh file. Okay, so let's try to see whether we can able to see the output or not. So if I try to run node playground.js file, see it is waiting and the node is getting executed. So 620 we are able to see the output, and in the activity monitor you can able to see that Node.js has created the G shell file and done. Okay, not only with this one, so ZSH only, we can also run this one with bash also. Bash also can execute this one. So here you'll be able to see the same output. So one and the same only. So you can able to see the same output. So maybe the things which you are able to see it, right? cat/etc/shells. So these are the shells we are having it, right? Maybe .csh. Let's try to clear it off. So maybe let's try to check it with the csh /bin/csh, and I will try to do scripts.sh. So csh is not executing. Okay, so it is not executing. So let's try to check it with the dash shell. Will it able to execute or not? We'll try to see. So it looks like it is executing. So we are able to see 620 and done. We can check it with the ksh also. Con shell also, I think it will be executing. Ksh also it will try to execute, and sh also it will execute it. So let's try to decrease some. What I want to say, sleep. So I will keep the sleep of 2 and I will keep the sleep of 2 again here. Let's try to see. So done. So let's see that whether we can able to sh the normal. So this one also bash shell only, right? So this will execute without any problem. I think so. So now here tcsh. So let's try to see with the tcsh Thompson, this one. So it's not executing. So this is how we'll be able to see it. So now almost bash and the G shell, whatever the code you are writing, almost both are so compatible to each other. So fine. So now we have checked it with the spawn. So let's try to see that about the exec. So exec, can it able to do it or not? So now if I try to go here into our code and playground.js file, so if you try to exit with the exec normally, so exec what it will try to do, it's normally it will work without any issue. It will work. So fine. So now let's go to the scripts.sh file. So here what I will be trying to do is I will keep at the top at the top ls. So let's try to check it from here. Let's clear it off, and here I will try to do g shell scripts.sh file. So here we are able to see the output. so without any problem. So let's try to run this node code. So node playground.js file. So here also it is able to see the same thing. So but when I try to do ll, so whether it can able to see show the output or not, let's try to see. Normal ll, if I try it, so we are able to get the output. So now if I try to run this one, so we are able to we are not able to see the output, and we are not able to see the output. So for example, let's say that G shell. So we have the G shell, right? So if I try to run this one, it is telling command not found ll. So that means it has been went into the standard error. So that's why we are not able to see the standard error. So now still this one, even if we run in the G shell, the ll is not working, and then the node also it is not working. So in our next video, we will try to see how exactly the shell executes these all the commands, why this one is not working when you are trying to spawn a new process, or in the G shell also why it is not working. So let's try to have a clear idea about that one. That's it guys for today. Deep dive into the Unix shells and this process. Now you have a clear understanding how shells work, how they spawn the process, and why they are essential for developers. In the next video, we'll explore what happens when you type a command and hit enter in the shell. Stay tuned for that one. So if you found this helpful, smash the like button and subscribe and hit the bell icon for more technical tutorials. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or you want more about the shell scripting and all those things. See you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.